This is KCBD News Channel 11 at 5.
I think this is one of the biggest things to ever happen to Texas Tech.
This time tomorrow, the Texas Tech Red Raiders will be in Minneapolis preparing for a historic game in the Final Four. Good afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Christy Harton. Coach Chris Beard and the Red Raiders will head to Minnesota tomorrow morning, and Texas Tech wants you to be a part of that send-off. They're holding a rally tomorrow morning. It starts at 7:15, yes, a.m. It will be in the north parking lot of the United Supermarkets Arena. Everyone is encouraged to join as we send off the Red Raiders to their first ever Final Four. Speaking of, have you seen the odds of them winning the national championship? Ironically, it's 4-1. Which has been their slogan all season, which means they have to be 4 times stronger mentally than physically. Texas Tech faces Michigan State at 7:49 Saturday night in Minneapolis. You've heard it said over and over again that this is an historic game for the Red Raiders. We spoke with Texas Tech President Lawrence Skubanick today about the game. He said for players and fans, this moment is priceless.
It's just been a fabulous experience, and the visibility that this has brought to Texas Tech and Lubbock is wonderful. Somebody sent me a picture of the front page of the New York Times sports page on Sunday, and there was a great photo of Matt Mooney, and it said Texas Tech in the Final Four for the first time. What's that worth? It's priceless.
There's no question Tech fans are excited. Hotel Tonight says Red Raider fans are the most passionate of the Final Four teams, 117% more compared to the second place team, which is held by Michigan State. The numbers come from how many hotel searches there are for each team. With such a big game, there's no surprise Tech's allotment of tickets were gone within minutes, and it's no easy or cheap feat to get to the game. But out of pure excitement, thousands of Tech fans are making the trip up north to cheer for their team.
My friends and I love going to every single basketball game, so whenever they made it to the Final Four, we're like, we have to go.
I got a call from my mom, and she's like, you want to go to Minneapolis? And I'm like, who would say no to that?
Exciting time to be a Red Raider fan.
Coming up tonight at 6, why one fan says why he's excited to go with his parents and not with his friends. If you're one of those fans planning to make the trip to see the game, we have information that you need to know. KCBD News Channel 11's Katie Main spoke with a representative from Meet Minneapolis today. She joins us now with those details. Katie, what can people expect when they get there?
Christy.
Okay, thanks so much, Katie. In other news, in less than 30 minutes, fans will celebrate a major win for Lubbock Christian University. The public is invited to welcome national champions, the LCU Lady Chaps. The ladies defeated Southwestern Oklahoma State for the NCAA Division II championship title Friday night in Columbus, Ohio. That celebration begins here in about 30 minutes at 5:30 at the Rip Griffin Center on the LCU campus. Turning to our weather, it's finally starting to feel like spring with highs in the 70s today. Let's go to John in the First Alert Forecast Center. And John, it looks like we're going to have a nice week ahead.
Oh, as a matter of fact, it's looking good going into the weekend. We're looking good right now for temperatures, Christy.
Okay, thanks so much, John. New developments today in the Rager Dykes Auto Group bankruptcy case. Ford Motor Credit Company and Rick Dykes have agreed to a judgment saying Dykes personally owes Ford more than $58 million. The motion was filed today in the U.S. District Court. Ford Motor Credit sued Bart Rager and Rick Dykes personally on August 17, 2018. If approved by the court, Rick Dykes will settle Ford Credit's lawsuit against him and will agree to a judgment against him in the amount of $58,712,000. Court records do not reflect any agreement between Ford Motor Credit and Bart Rager. In national politics, new research shows that medical care in the U.S. is costing Americans billions. $88 billion in the past year, to be exact. West Health Gallup released the statistics today. Nearly a quarter of Americans reduced their spending on medical care, while 65 million said they avoided treatment altogether because of the cost, with 45% worrying that a major health event could lead them to bankruptcy. The survey also said that the U.S. spends more than any other country on health care, yet consistently ranks near the bottom of major health incentives. In other news, President Trump is focusing on immigration and his promise to close large portions of the southern border. This comes as the president delays a showdown on health care, saying the vote to replace Obamacare will come after the 2020 election. Blaine Alexander has more from Capitol Hill. Blaine.
Well, Christy, back to you.
Thanks so much, Blaine. The suspect for the murder of rapper Nipsey Hussle has been caught. 29-year-old Eric Holder was caught by deputies sometime before 1:30. LAPD Chief Michael Moore told reporters today that Holder, who is a known gang member, approached Hussle several times Sunday. Holder then returned with a handgun and opened fire. 2 other people were hurt in that shooting. Nipsey was a Grammy-nominated rapper. He was 33 years old.
This is KCBD News Channel 11 at 5.
Coach Chris Beard and the Texas Tech Red Raiders just wrapped up their weekly news conference, their first here at home after scoring a date to the Final Four. Good afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Christy Harden. The Red Raider basketball team is back home in the Hub City before they head to Minneapolis for the Final Four. This marks the very first time in program history that the men have made it this far in the tournament. This is video of the team returning home early Sunday morning. They were greeted by a massive crowd of fans at the United Supermarkets Arena. Today, the Red Raiders held their weekly news conference where Coach Beard talked about what he hopes to see this weekend.
Well, this week in preparation, I hope that we just continue to be ourselves. We got to be exactly who we are and continue our process, even though there's a lot going on around us that normally isn't. And then in the game, it's not things I want to see, it's things that we have to see to have a chance. We've got to match their toughness. You're not going to out-tough Michigan State. You know, from time to time, we've been able to maybe out-tough a guy from time to time. That's not the plan Saturday. The plan is to equal their toughness or compete with them or be as tough as them. Then if we can do that, it turns into a basketball game. Then there's some things we got to get done in that game.
The team will take on Michigan State this Saturday for a shot at the national championship game. Game time is set for 7:49. 26 years after her murder, Lubbock police say they know who killed 28-year-old Sherry Ann Ragsdale Dorsey inside her Lubbock apartment. Today, the LPD says that case is now closed. KCBD News Channel 11's Julie Castaneda joins us now with those new details. Julie.
Christy, back to you.
Thanks so much, Julie. A huge fire out of South Lubbock this afternoon destroyed part of a home. That fire broke out around 10 o'clock this morning in the 5200 block of 94th Street. So far, there's no word of any injuries. We'll keep you updated online and on air as we learn more. This evening, the Lubbock Fire Marshal is investigating a fire in South Lubbock. It broke out around 7 o'clock last night in the 7500 block of Avenue W, which is near South Loop and University. The Lubbock Fire Department says the fire started in the attic and caused minor damage. A nice day here in the Hub City with highs in the 60s, but that West Texas wind was at work yet again. Let's go to John in the First Alert Forecast Center. John, we had those cool temperatures this weekend, but another of that kind of roller coaster up.
Thursday, Christy, mid-70s, but overall looking very good.
Okay, thanks so much, John. Today, House Democrats are moving ahead with plans to authorize a subpoena in order to get Robert Mueller's full, unredacted report. Chairman Jerry Nadler says a vote is planned for Wednesday. That's a day after the Tuesday deadline that Democrats set for Attorney General William Barr to provide the full report. A subpoena could set up a showdown between the Trump administration and congressional Democrats. Attorney General Barr is expected to publicly release a redacted version of the Mueller report later this month. President Trump is now escalating his border battle. He announced plans to cut off aid to 3 Central American countries and has threatened to close the border altogether. Today, the Homeland Security Secretary says they are moving more personnel to help at the border. Democrats say, though, the policies will only make problems worse. Blaine Alexander has the latest from the White House. Blaine.
Well, Christy.
To the wildfire watch now in Washington state. This wildfire is threatening hundreds of homes. Crews continue to battle the blaze on the ground and in the air. The fire broke out in a residential area in Spokane yesterday. Nearly 770 homes have been issued evacuation notices, and at least 6 structures, including 2 homes, have already been destroyed. And just outside of Portland, Oregon, this fire destroyed a home and several outbuildings yesterday. The U.S. Forest Service says the blaze sparked along one of the highways, and paired with strong winds, it has quickly grown to 20,000 acres. Officials are now ordering at least 20 households to evacuate.
Sad. Some of those old homes are, been here. Like mine's almost 100 years old, and if there's a spark or anything, it'll go up just like tinder.
As of right now, there is no estimate for the fire's containment. And new evacuations are in place for those still in the path of the spreading Ferguson fire. So far, this fire in Central California has burned more than 12,000 acres and is only 5% contained. Officials say the fire is threatening over 100 buildings. One firefighter has died from battling this blaze. Officials say the steep terrain, access to the fire, and the smoke conditions are making the fire difficult to fight. Former Lubbock City Councilman and the Republican Party candidate for Lubbock County Judge Court at Law was hit and killed by a truck while out riding his bicycle. That accident happened around 8 o'clock this morning on FM 41 and County Road 1240. That's where we find KCBD News Channel 11's Amanda Ruiz. She's live with more details on the crash and the legacy Nelson leaves behind. Amanda. Okay, Marvel fans, listen up. Marvel has put out a new trailer for Avengers Endgame, and fans are going crazy. Check it out.
We're the Avengers. We gotta finish this. You trust me? I do.
While the trailer had fans going crazy, it was also an announcement from Marvel that helped almost break the internet. Avengers Endgame pre-sale tickets have officially launched. Fans willing to do whatever it takes to grab seats crashed AMC Theaters' website and app. Users also reported long wait times and issues with Fandango, Regal Cinema, and Atom tickets. This new Avengers installment wraps up a story that has unfolded over the course of more than 20 Marvel films. It comes out April 26th. Oh, and you also may not want to drink anything before seeing the movie. Fandango has its runtime listed as 3 hours and 2 minutes. Pancreatic cancer is one of the nation's deadliest, but now, thanks to a new and promising treatment, patients are living full lives. We have details on what doctors in Minnesota say works. But first, here's a look at what's coming up tonight on NBC Nightly News.